But let's keep talking about spiders. You want cocoa coir nowhere near inside this water bowl. Because you'll realize that water starts to go down real fast. Remember, clean water bowl. This has a bit of whatever it is, but let me tell you, clean water bowl is important. You see that? How it looks like it's full? Yeah, calm down on the feeding. Remember that. So this thing is still little, right? Still little. It's really nice. I don't mind. Whew, I'll take my time. It'll take its time. I'm in no rush. You know, it's really cute. And it's living in this big enclosure, right? Alright, and here's this other one, right? This other one is a bit bigger, and let's see. It's hanging out there, and I don't know how it's doing. Alright. So you see, right? It's hanging out. And, yeah, you see the, what's it called? You know what it is, right? So, you know, you want to have water in your water bowl for sure. You know, you want to make sure, hey, these get water. Make sure it has water. Make sure it has water. You know, you want to make sure these are very well taken care of at their best as possible. Have you ever seen videos where people just, you know, show the tarantulas and their water bowls really empty? Let's keep that water bowl full, alright? Let's do our best to at least full or have some water. Just making sure, you know what I mean? Make sure there's no cocoa coir in the water bowl. When it comes to water bowls, remember, clean them up. You want to clean them up. Hey, they're your tarantulas. You know, like when you have your tarantulas, like these are you know, these are my tarantulas. You know. But remember to clean them up, you know what I mean? Clean them up. You know? This enclosure, I'm going to have to clean up the walls and all that. You know what I mean? And at times it gets a bit dry, and it's okay, you know. Just put a little bit more water in there. Try not to soak it up. Remember, try not to super soak it up. You can get probably a water bottle, dump it over here a little bit, you know, a little bit of some water. Just a little bit. And it should, you know, go through and whatever it is, you know what I mean? Moisture, or, you know, the moisture from your cap. Just don't overdo it. You know what I mean? And this is how much holes I have on it. And it seems like it always does well. And it's been like this for a long while. And yeah, you know, cocoa coir and this moss, water. Hey, they seem like they love it, right? But next time I get an enclosure, I want to get something a little bit more like, hold on. Something like this, right? A bit more bigger and more, you know, something like this or bigger. Definitely. So remember, if you ever get one of these, they can be cleaned. The water bowls, they can be cleaned. Like brand new. They can be really cleaned. So, you know, if it get really dirty, hey, get it out, clean it up, put it back in. Alright? These get dirty, you know, pull them out, clean them up, put it back in. So that's what I have to say about tarantulas, you know, is that take the best care, you know, care for them, you know. They could hide under moss or on the moss. You know, you could use wood. But moss seems like it's been working perfectly fine for me. You know, I'm going to give you an example. So I have this bearded dragon, right? People treat their bearded dragon a bit differently. They have their things set up a bit differently. You see mine is sleeping right there. And I have this 2 sticks. It climbs on there, it climbs in the other, it goes in there, okay? Eventually I'm going to have to change the whole thing up when it gets bigger. But here is the point. People have their setup very, very differently. You don't always have to go with what their setup is, but make sure that it's safe for them. Make sure it's without destruction. You want to make sure they're safe. You want to make sure they're eating well. You want to make sure they don't do anything stupid. You want to make sure that because there's people out there who will tell you information that'll harm your animals. I mean, there's people who say information that do you harm. Now let me tell you something. Do your research. Know about your animals. And if you want to know the truth, read the Holy Bible. Now, okay, here's what I'm about to say. People do, you know, their things very differently, but make sure that it's perfectly safe for them, you know, for your animals or your reptiles. And yeah, you know. So, what would work for you if you want to get creative? You can, but make sure it's safe. Do your research. You could do your researches. You want to see something in the Bible? Do your researches. You want to see something with animals and reptiles? Do your research. Your research and care. You know. So make sure what they're telling you is safe for you to pass on. You know what I mean? So people have their things very differently. Like they have this, sometimes they would have this thing for bearded dragons to hide. Sometimes they would have like I don't know how to explain, but they wouldn't. Sometimes they would have the carpet. Sometimes they would use paper towels. You see people doing all kinds of things, but let me tell you, do your research. Know what's best for your animal or reptile or whatever it is. Do your research. And sometimes people will tell you information and it's not even specific. But let me tell you, when you look into it, and if you really care about it, you could look it up, and hey, you'll see that people become very specific in many areas. Sometimes people say, oh, they eat, how can I explain? Like, let's talk about discoids. They'll say, oh, discoids eat dog food. But honestly, from what I've seen, they eat certain, I don't really see any chewing marks on the dog food, but I see more chewing marks on the dog treats. But as long as they have like protein and that, you get what I mean? It's about detail, tell the detail, tell what's correct, and you get what I'm saying? I mean, the discoids might eat something else. But hey, we're talking about discoids. We're not talking about the bearded dragon, alright? So, people do their things very differently. And this is a fake plant. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, I get it. There's research about what kind of wood you want to use and this and that and what's best for your bearded dragon. I made this thing. You see this thing? I made that thing. And so far, hey, I didn't need to buy a net for it. Just get creative. But make sure it's without destruction. Make sure it's safe. Make sure it doesn't cut it. Make sure they are, okay, And this I have a light on top of it, right? And you want to make sure how high do you want and how much watts is in a light bulb. You know what I mean? So it's about getting specific. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you have a low watt, your bearded dragon is gonna need more watts. You know what I mean? You can have 100 watts, but you have to know how far is this thing supposed to be. You get what I mean? So my main point of this, video of talking about animals and reptiles is, hey, some people do things very differently. You know what I mean? But okay, don't think about things that'll perish quickly, like paper. You put paper on how can I explain? You put it on dirt. You know what I mean? It's come on. Use something that you know for a fact that will last you a long time. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you go to the store, there's some things that is for your animal or for your reptile that your animal or reptile wouldn't even touch. So that's what I've learned. And, to try to, be close to your animals, tell people the truth. So that's it for this video. This is part 2. Take care. God bless. Take care, every one of you. Bless your family. And if you want to know the truth, read the Holy Bible. And I'm telling you now, we have a real God. And be, tell the truth, be honest, and help one another in telling the truth, making sure what's best for your animals, kids, reptiles, people, elders, everything. Make sure it's best for the people you are around. To save them, to care about them, and to guide them, and to make sure what they're doing is good for them. Alright, take care, everybody.